Welcome to our Effective Meetings webinar. I'm Neil Cassidy, co-founder of Mosaic. Research shows that managers and employees spend over a third of their working week attending meetings, with some senior executives spending as much as 90% of their time. I'm going to take you through the following key topics. What is a meeting? Roles and responsibilities of people attending meetings, meeting etiquette and policy, and finally I'll take you through a 5-step process for an effective meeting, from deciding whether you really need a meeting to requesting, planning, conducting and following up on a meeting. I've also included a comprehensive checklist of all the things you'll need to consider at each of these steps. As well as defining your meeting etiquette, you may also want to create a meeting policy. And here are a few suggestions of what you may want to include. I'm not going to go through them now, as we'll be covering all of these points as we go through the webinar. You need to do a lot of the planning for teleconferences that you would do for a face-to-face meeting. Remember, you still have to set an agenda and make all parties aware of the topics of discussion, otherwise there will be a lot of uncomfortable silences. Too often people call a meeting, they don't produce an agenda or spend time thinking about what they want from the meeting, and, as a result, it achieves little or nothing and just wastes time and money. Once you've determined the overall meeting cost, you then need to decide whether or not the meeting would still be worthwhile, or whether there's a more cost-effective way of achieving your objectives. In order to control the meeting effectively, the chairperson needs to be aware of all of the implications of the items on the agenda, and it is their duty to make sure all sides of a story are heard before a decision is reached. When creating the agenda, try to bear the following things in mind. Discuss the most important items early on in the meeting, when your attendees are more alert, and, if your meeting does overrun, then at least these items will have been covered. Then you should update the agenda accordingly and circulate the revised version. I'll now take you through how to complete a set of meeting minutes, using the example included in your handouts. You should also ask people to give you updates on any of their actions within 24 hours of the next meeting, so that these can be incorporated into the next set of minutes. We've found that by doing this alone can reduce the length of your meeting by up to half an hour.